Our generation, we are full of ourselves. We are so full of ourselves, so full of ourselves. And that's why God has become scarce. You can't encounter God if you are high-minded. If he comes, who is the Lord? He wants to encounter the Lord. Say, Lord, when are you coming? This thing must happen this week. Well, a day can be 1,000 years. So this week can be 7,000 years. A king, when you know how heaven works, you will fear God. You will fear God. Those who are closer to God tremble more, because they've seen his glory. They fear him. They tremble at his presence. And when you want to see God, your heart must be perfect, broken and humble before the Lord. Even when you don't qualify, God will choose you, because he can trust you. It's the law of reverence, the law of the fear of the Lord. When God sees a man that reverences him, God wants to visit that man. He said the secret of the Lord, Psalm 25 verse 14, is with them that fear him. He will show them his covenants. Every time God begins to reveal things to a man, it's his heart posture. There are many people that think because of this and that, they are the ones who qualify to receive from God. That's why they never see God. They never receive from God. Because when God wants to visit a man, he checks his heart. He doesn't check his competence primarily. His competence is necessary for service, but his heart is what attracts God. When you want to know God, you must come to a place of brokenness. I know I'm the preacher, but I will never think that I'm better than anybody. I know I'm the man on the altar, but I don't think the guy at the ushering position, I don't think I'm better than him. All of us are serving in different places. And if I need to do what that young man is doing, I will do it with all of my heart. I didn't graduate from ushering to preaching. I was just relocated in service. It's a posture of the heart that attracts the Spirit of God. The day you think you are something, you know, even in the throne room, the most ranking angels, their posture is the posture of lying down, because they make that as an insurance policy, never to become high-minded, because they have learned the lesson that happened to the cherubim. He said, Lucifer said in his heart, I will exalt my throne. You will exalt your throne. So where you are, you think you are better than others. The moment you become high-minded, a problem comes. He said to King Saul, he said, when you were small in your own heart, did I not make you king? Nothing provokes encounter like a heart of humility, a heart of brokenness, a state of perfect brokenness, where a man doesn't think that is anything. Everything he is by the grace of God. I am what I am by the grace of God. Remove the grace of God from me, I'm nothing. That is the heart God looks for. When he sees a broken generation, he becomes obsessed about that generation. When God sees a humble man, he becomes obsessed about that humble man. He can commit himself to that man. But when God sees a proud man, he says, God resists the proud. He will push him aside. Even if he's on a 70 days dry fast, God will push him aside. Even if he's on a 150 days dry fast, he will have no encounter, because the goal is not God. He wants to come out tomorrow and say, some of us have paid the price. Have you fasted for 90 days before? I've fasted for 150 days. Do you think what's happening here is a small matter? You are not serious. He wants to carry the fast. The fasting will become his doctrine. He will fast like that. When he finishes fasting, if God doesn't help him, he will end up with ulcer. But you see certain men, while they are just walking in the market, an angel of the Lord appeared to them. And then you are wondering, why does God love this man so much? No, the fragrance of his heart is going to heaven every morning. It's the fragrance. There's something about his heart. There's something about his heart. That's why he said, men look at the outward, but I, the Lord, I see the heart. He said, I search the heart. In Jeremiah 17 verse 10, I try the reins to give unto every man as his way should be. One of the greatest risks of growing in spiritual things is pride. You can lose everything you have labored for in a moment because you allow pride for a second. We must always, that's why I say, guard your heart with all diligence. Guard your love prayer. In 1 Kings chapter 19 verse 11, he said, go stand on the mountain and I will show myself to you. And the posture of standing is the posture of prayer. So every man that is given to prayer is a man that walks in the realm of encounters. The reason everything is new to us and everything is rhema is because we don't travel in the spirit. When you begin to participate in that realm by laboring in prayer, many things they say, you will know it. Even when they bring prophetic word to you, it will be normal because they are confirmations. Not everything will be new. You don't receive 10 prophecies and all of them are new. Where have you been? Those prophetic words came from the Spirit. How come you've not picked anyone? It means you are not doing business there. And for a believer who truly knows God, he knows that his way of life is the way of prayer. They say men ought, not should. Men ought always to pray. They are very powerful words. Men ought. Number one, it means if you are a man. They don't know, maybe you are something else, but if you say you are a man, the second thing is that you ought, you should, you must pray. And you don't just pray, always. Because he knows that the way the system is designed, your advantage is weaved in the Spirit. That's why I said he has given us every blessing, but they are in the Spirit. So for you to have an advantage in life, as a man, you must always pray and refuse to faint. So a man who is not praying is not prayerless, he is fainting. But a man who is praying is walking in all the advantages that are in the Spirit. So every time a man makes prayer his lifestyle, it will be natural for him to walk in the realm of encounters. He will collide with God, he will collide with angels, he will collide with patriarchs. It will be normal. You know, I've been careful throughout these sessions not to talk about my encounters, because there are certain encounters you have. If you say it without permission, you will be endangered. There are certain encounters you have, it's not even for that era, because the spirit realm is not governed by time. You can enter the spirit realm now and you'll be taken to the civilization of 100 years to come. If you start saying it, people will call you a heretic. Get out, you are wrong, because they will be trapped in doctrine. They don't know the spirit realm is bigger than doctrine. It's bigger than theology. You can't capture the spirit realm in theology. Thank God for theology, but what we are talking about is a word. So Enoch, who was 7 after Adam, has already entered rapture. And Enoch entered heaven with his body. He didn't die. He knows transubstantiation and transfiguration by encounters. When a man begins to pray, nothing is impossible to him, because the realm of the spirit becomes his place of dwelling. So one of the laws of encounter is the law of praying always. When you pray always, naturally you will have encounters. Naturally. It's not, you don't need an impartation, you don't need a prophecy to have it, because prayer is a migration from earth to heaven, and it's a download of heavenly realities to earth. There is no way you will make prayer your life and you will not walk in encounters. This is not about an apostle or a prophet. This is about a believer that wants to have advantage in life. So he knows that his advantage is not earthly, it's spirit, and he will engage that realm until that realm opens to him. This is the way of encounter. It's a law in the spirit that if a man doesn't give himself to prayer, he cannot have encounters. It will be very difficult, even if he does, to be once in a while. The Bible said in Genesis 18 verse 1 that Abraham sat at the gate of the tent in Mamre. He was a posture of prayer, and when God was passing, even though God deliberately disguised himself, the man knew this is not a man. So there are men that have explored the spirit realm so much that sometimes, because they won't let God pass to visit another person, God will have to disguise himself, because so many other people are sleeping. God came to your neighborhood to visit you, but you are sleeping. But there's another man that has a mast. So even if God doesn't come for him, he knows how to drag God to his house. Come in, sir. Come in. I didn't come for you. I'm going to Sodom, but you must pass here. You must pass here. Meanwhile, there's somebody else. He is asleep. Even when God comes to his house and is knocking, come next week. Come next week. But another man, unless God doesn't pass through the neighborhood, he will catch him in the spirit like a mast. Like, even if God disguises himself and become a man, he will say, I know you, I know you, I know you. I've been here for long. They can find God. The Bible said in Exodus 20:21 that Moses stepped into the deep darkness where God was. God did no longer reveal himself the way he would do. He hid himself. Moses still located him. That's a man of prayer. You can't keep anything from them. If you like, hide it in heaven, they will go and take it. The reason we know we will not fail is not because a man promised us something. The reason we know we will not fail is because we know God is with us. The reason you know your marriage will not fail is not because the person you married is too reasonable. The reason you know your marriage will not fail is because God told you to marry that person and God is with you. So every aspect of your life, there is peace. there's rest. Not because you have heaven and earth, but because God is with you. And if God is with you, then heaven is there. These assurances comes when we begin to have encounters. You know, many times when you walk through life, you will go through turbulences, terrible ones. But the reason you will be assured is because you know God is with you. Many times friends will leave you. Trusted allies will leave you. They will lie against you. They will betray you. They will try to discredit you. When you go back home, sometimes there is nobody to talk to. There are times when you get to certain junctions in life, there's nobody to talk to. You look left, you look right. You can't even trust the people around you anymore, because everybody around you either is there for something or has betrayed you. When you come to those junctions, how will you walk through it? You know there is God with you. There's a God that will never leave you alone. He will never leave you alone. This assurance is what brings meaning to life. You are like Mount Zion that cannot be moved, because God is with you. So encounters come to restore experiential fellowship with God, and gives us an assurance that nothing can bring us down in this life. I tell people many times, there is only one being that makes man. His name is God. He said, let us make man in our own image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion. It's God that makes man. And when God wants to make you, he can use your servant to make you. He can use your master to make you. He can use your enemy to make you. Sometimes when your enemies are fighting you, they are strengthening you. It looks as if they are strengthening you. God will use your enemy to make you. And when you come out of that battle, you become 10 times better than you ever were. But the only way you will go through that battle and keep your focus is when encounters are happening. So you will know that this is not my end. Even this one will pass. Even this one will pass. And you keep moving. If we know that encounters are this significant, then we will pay the price to have them. If we know the quality of our life is dependent on the quality of our encounters, if we know that our insurance and assurance in life is based on encounters, if we know that our relationship with God is based on encounters, if we know all of these things, then we'll have need for encounters every day of our lives, because it defines everything about us. And so, having said that, I began to talk to us about the laws that provoke encounters. And I said the first law that provokes encounters is the law of seeking God with all your heart. And I told us yesterday, in these matters, you can't deceive God. Because when you seek something with all your heart, God knows how you go about it. Even if you are not quoting scriptures, he knows. And I gave us some very funny examples yesterday. When you were looking for a contract and you were seeking that contract with all your heart, you could be up till 4 a.m. in the morning. When you are looking at trying to impress that lady, you could be on call with her till 2 a.m. in the morning. Some of us are fathers now, so it's been a while. It's been a while. Maybe 20 years ago, you could trek 10 kilometers just to talk to the lady for 5 minutes. And even while trekking to that place, you were not sure you will meet her. Maybe she went to the stream to fetch water, but you will still pay the price to trek 10 kilometers. And when you come, you will wait for another 4 hours. And maybe when she was passing from the stream, I'm talking about the fathers now, because they did their own 20 years, 30 years ago. We did ours yesterday. Ours were on phone calls. Theirs was 30 years ago. So they will trek for 10 kilometers, and sometimes she's passing from the stream, and then they say, how you doing? Say, I caught a rabbit, take. The rabbits are labored in the forest for 7 hours to catch. Maybe he set a trap. He set a trap for 2 weeks. When he caught the rabbit, he now carried the rabbit and trekked for 10 hours and came and waited for 4 hours. And when he saw the lady for just 5 seconds passing from the sea, he said, take this rabbit, make sure you eat it, make sure you eat it. That's called seeking with the whole of your heart. So when you are seeking God with the whole of your heart, he knows the way you operate, so he will wait. Is it the way the energy you dispense when you were seeking that lady? If you have not hit that energy level, you have not started. Because I know when you seek something with the whole of your heart, you come to church, you put something small. But when you are trying to win a contract, even the person that needs to take the file to the office, you say, what do you want? Take. But when it comes to God, comportment doesn't work in this one. It will check you to find out that everything about you is dispensed. Now, if you will seek God like that, there's no way you won't find him. he will reveal himself to you. That's why Jeremiah 29 verse 13 says, if you seek him with the whole of your heart, he will reveal himself to you. Of service. There is no way you will do business in the sanctuary or in the altar that you will not collide with God, because God dwells here. Every time you see a man serving God, that's a man who has set himself up for encounters. When a man becomes far from service, God will become far from him, because one of the places where you meet God is where you obey his commandment. Where you serve him, that's where God is. You are looking for where God is where men are serving him. So there is no way man serves God and encounters will be a drought for him. The Bible said Samuel was in the temple. Now hear what he said in 1 Samuel chapter 3 from verse 1. He said, in those days the voice of God was scarce. There were no open visions. In those days the voice of God was scarce. There were no open visions. So even though God was nowhere to be found, a man knew where to find God. So when they served God in church, Samuel remained there. One day God came and began to call him. The same God that was cast called Samuel 3 times, and God will not go. When a man begins to serve, God becomes obligated to walk with him, because that man has made God his priority. He said, because you have made God, even the Most High, your habitation. So service is a way of making God your habitation. You give your all to God. So when you want to find the fullness of a man who serves God, he is in God's assignment. When a man is giving to God like that, encounters will be natural to him. So even though Samuel was not an experienced priest, even though Samuel was a little boy, the demographics of the spirit that were considered was not age, it was not experience, it was who was serving with a perfect heart. And the moment God found a little boy serving with a perfect heart, God came to him. Samuel, he thought it was Eli. He didn't even know God. He didn't know all the spiritual, complex spiritual things that we know today. You know, in our generation, we know very bogus spiritual things, and we say them so bogusly, but our heart is not in service. So we just want to come and shine. When they say somebody should clean the church, you are looking for the people that are qualified to clean. When they say somebody should please pick something there, you are never the one. It must be somebody else. When it's service, it has to be somebody else. But when they want to talk about those who have rank, or they want to talk about reward, we come forward first. Jesus said the greatest of them all is the servant of all. We don't know how to serve. That's why encounters are scarce. There are many people who have qualified, but they are high-minded. So even when they are calling on the name of the Lord, he's resisting them. He's resisting them. But there are those who are not yet qualified. He's giving grace because they are humble. He's fast-tracking their process. And another person has fasted for 10 years. God is still resisting him. Somebody else came 3 months ago. Now he's already doing exploit. And then you are saying, what's going on? The equation is in the heart. One is humble, the other one is proud. Did you not see the parable that Jesus told? The Pharisee came to pray and knelt down. He said, I keep my offering. I fast regularly. I pray. I've done all that you want. With so much pride. He said the other man came. He could not as much as look into heaven. He said, who was forgiving more? Even if that man goes home, God will follow him home, because he has done something that has attracted God. And every time a man is proud, he reminds God of the Luciferious rebellion. You want to walk in encounters, your heart must be down, you must be humble. If not, you will pray, you will still not see God. You will fast, you will not encounter God, because he will resist you because of your heart. The last law of encounter is the law of obedience. In John chapter 14 verse 23, he said, they that love me will keep my word, and I and my Father will come and make our abode with him. So when a man is quick to obey God, that is a man that has attracted God's attention. When God speaks to you, how quick do you obey him? It may not look good, it may not look palatable, but are you quick in obeying God? If you are quick in obeying God, it's a testimony that you love him. And if you do, he didn't say I will visit him. He said I am my Father. That's one. It's not just Christ. He said I am my Father. Number two, he didn't say I will visit. He said we will make our abode with him. So there are those who encounter God, there are those who live in the realm of God. God will not just visit and go. He will live with you, because he has found you a man that obey him and you are faithful in all of his words. When you want to encounter the Lord, you must learn how to quickly obey God's voice. If you can obey God, then you can be rest assured that God is with you. he said to them to go out and preach the word to all nations. And in Mark 16:20, he said they went. The commandment was what? Go into all nations. And he said what? They went. And he said the Lord was with them. He was walking with them. The God that is with will always be with the one that obeys. If you want God to abide with you, if you want to always encounter God, then you must obey every instruction he gives you. Sometimes it looks very simple, very simple, very simple. But we are looking for the complex things. We are finding out what is the mystery of ascending in the spirit. How do I migrate from earth to Zion? And then you say it's by chanting for 10 hours. And then you go and chant. When you finish chanting for 10 hours, as you are coming out, they say, give that old woman the money you have in your pocket. You put your earpiece and increase the volume. That's where you have chanted, but the key to ascension, you have thrown it away. Sometimes you just, as you come out from that place, that person that you're keeping malice with, they say, go to the person's house now and say you are sorry. You now say, wait, I know who I am. I was not wrong. She was at fault. I've tried many times. She doesn't want to. So I know I don't have time for such nonsense. What you call nonsense is the doorway to heaven. Go there and say you are sorry. He didn't ask who is right or who is wrong. The only thing that came was a commandment. Meanwhile, you have quoted 40 scriptures when you were praying, and you were quoting it non-stop. Now that you have finished quoting, the oracle has uttered his voice, and then you disobey the one you didn't quote. You can't see it. That's why spiritual teams sometimes dribble many people. They've cramped some things and they are doing it meticulously, but they violate the movement of the spirit, and they don't know why things never work. Things never work. God sent you to Abuja, you choose Lagos, because the last time you checked, all your friends are in Lagos. If you go to Lagos, you don't need an auditorium. If you go to Lagos, there are people already on ground. There are men on ground. God is not working with the men on ground. He said your sons and your daughters will come from afar. Strangers will stand to build your walls. I'm not looking at the men on ground. I have my own men for this assignment. And we don't know why things don't work. So the law of obedience is one of the most potent law of encounters. I'm showing you why you see some people pray, they have encounters. Others never prayed, yet they have encounters you've not had. And then you are wondering why. Some of them is because of their heart posture. Somebody is praying, but his heart posture is wrong. He never encounters God. Another person is not even praying yet. God is the one encountering him and telling him, begin to pray now. Begin to pray. And God will come 3 times and he's not yet ready. But his heart will keep attracting God. Another man has lived on prayer until his name is not Prayo. But he has still not encountered God. And he's wondering. Now, maybe it's 10 years later that he's finally broken and God encounters him. He now goes out. He will not know that it took 10 years because he was hardened. He will now come and say, before you encounter God, you have to pray in tongues for 7 years. No, you don't pray in tongues for 7 years or for 10 years to encounter God, because there are children who are encountering God today. Children who don't know, who don't speak in tongues. There's a law of prayer, but there's also a law of humility, law of brokenness.